All right. Welcome to another Living Freestyle Game Dev Q&A AMA. It is Wednesday morning. I hope everybody's doing all right. We do this twice a week, Sunday nights and Wednesday mornings right now. And basically the goal is twofold. One, I like to make myself available for people to ask questions, wherever they have to be, whether they be with Unreal or Maya or whatever, just kind of as it relates to game dev. And if we don't have any questions or there isn't anything to kind of go over from the previous one, then I'm basically just working on my game. And a lot of this is because currently I work at Riot Games. I work in R&D. I get to do a lot of really cool stuff at work, but there's a lot of really cool stuff I don't get to play with that this gives me a chance to mess around with and literally stumble through with you all at the same time. So I went through, I didn't see any questions from any of last week's Q&As, and also in general I didn't see anything in the chat so far. So with that, I think we're just going to hop straight into the game and what we're building. Let's see here. So where we left off last time, we had fixed a bunch of things. We'd fixed deaths, we'd fixed some stuff like that. Let me just do a quick play here just to remind myself where we were. We had a couple people that we were spawning. They're still shooting at us. They're punching as well. Oh yes, and we had just also fixed the fact that when we die, we respawn and our body isn't floating or flying in the air. Okay, so one of the things that I was thinking would be good, there's a couple of really kind of big pieces that we have to kind of go through still. One is, you'll notice that none of these dudes have weapons, even though they're still shooting and stuff like that. And it's less about whether or not they visually have weapons or not, it doesn't matter, they're still shooting. But the bigger thing that I was thinking about was we kind of need the ability to pick up items and discover items and find items. So right now, you know, we can attack, we can take damage, we can do all these kinds of things. But in the whole smartness of our AI, I sort of feel like when they get weak, we would love it if they could run and go find a health pack. Or when they spawn, if they don't have a weapon, just like, you know, you do in PUBG or whatever, when everybody races to find what the best weapon is. So I'm actually thinking we can do that. There's obviously stuff we can fix, like there's some camera issues when we die and things like that, but I'm not gonna sweat that too much. We did do some debug camera. We did connect up like some of our debug stuff, I think. Oh, interesting. I don't even know what that button does. I'll have to take a look at that. But so I found some stuff in the just the Anim blueprint that I did go ahead and connect up. So today I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if we can make it so we can actually pick up items. So let's simplify this a lot. I don't want so many enemies. Let's go down to one enemy as a starting point. And then the other thing that we want to do is I want to make it so it's just ranged. I'm almost wondering though if we shouldn't make this easier for us to have random enemies spawn. You know what, let's just do that real quick. Let's do spawn enemy is true. Here's a random int. If what we do on our spawner is we take our enemy class to spawn and we make this public, then what we can also do is we can also change this to an array. Let me see. I'll change the variable type. Is that really what I want to do? Hold on, let's make this bigger so I can read this. Nope, that's not what I want. Can we undo that? Is that possible? Ooh, I'm surprised that didn't crash. Good job. All right, so enemy classes spawn. Let's not make this one the public one. Let's do, let's add a spawn. Let's add a new variable for spawn list. Because I'm getting tired of having to come into this spawn pool. Maybe we'll call it spawn pool. Just getting tired of coming in here and having to update these two settings each time. Where what I want to do is from our spawn pool, we could find an item, or here's what we could do. Let's get the length. Can we get the length of this? Yes, here's the length. So if we take the length -1, ooh, nope, minus, integer -1, and we connect that to our random float. So we're gonna go 0 to 1. That's going to give us a random number that's within the length of our list. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get that random integer, and we're going to get the item. We're going to get that element, and then that is going to be the one that we're going to spawn. And we're not going to worry about this true false stuff anymore. That should go away. And this should also go away. Pressing Q to straighten those out. All right, the reason we're doing this again is we're just making it easier so I don't have to keep coming into this blueprint to change how many enemies of what types I'm spawning. So if we come back over here, wait, we don't have our list. We need to make this visible on spawn, compile that, save that. Now what we should have, here's our spawn pool. So what we can do is we can just, if we want to spawn both ranged and melee, we can add those to our spawn pool. And then theoretically, what should happen now if we increase this to 10, we should have random amounts of ranged and melee. So there's melee, there's ranged, there's melee, ranged. Okay, so that's totally working, that's great. So then now, if I want to quickly change it so that I don't have to open the blueprint anymore, you know, right here in our spawner, I can just, you know, add and delete stuff. So basically I'm just going to delete this guy, and we're only going to spawn one ranged person. And the reason we're doing that is because I just want to have one person to work with to simplify the use case, or the test case. So we both have taken damage. He's going to keep coming at me because remember all of our old AI work that we had done, where until he gets into flight mode, now, he just happened to go berserker. Again, this is why it's great that we have the visuals. So let's bring back our ranged enemy. Okay, now he goes into flight mode. Run away, cool. All right, so now what we want to do is, a long time ago, I thought I had a health thing. And it was, maybe it's called heal. AoE heal game. What is this? So here's a gameplay ability. There's an AoE heal. That's interesting. Here's the heal AoE BP. Let's see what this does. I haven't actually tried this. We'll have to go in and look at it. So if he shoots me, bro, where are you going? Shoot me. There we go. So I'm a little bit damaged. Now I'm going to run over the heal. It does not heal me. Okay, he's in berserker mode. You know what? I may have changed my mind. I may want to Come on, buddy. He walked over that heal. It did nothing. Okay, so let's figure out what this... We know what this is supposed to do. Theoretically, it's supposed to heal us, but that's obviously not what it's doing. So let's see here. If in the event graph, on component begin overlap, it checks the hit actors. It checks to see if... Let's see here. Oh, hold on a second. The other actor that gets hit, we get the class of it. If it's an enemy, is false. Then we add it to the hit actors. And then we do an ability system gameplay effect to self. Send gameplay event to actor. Event shared AoE. Delay, and then we clear our hit actors. Okay, so this is a combination of things. What it's doing is this is stacking up everybody who's within the radius when the AoE heal gets triggered. It's filling up this hit actors array. And then what it's going to do is it does the gameplay effect, and then it sends the gameplay effect to the actor with this stuff in it. And the gameplay effect is this heal. The heal is using an interactable AoE heal, never reset, and chance to apply is 1, instant, etc. But I don't see where this is actually doing any healing. So that's interesting. Let's see here. GEAOE heal character. This is also a heal. Here we go. This is the one that does the health update. So we need to figure out which one's using this AoE heal character. Reference viewer. This is being used by oh, interesting. Okay, so this is the gameplay ability, AoE heal. It's using the sphere trace. That's what we're expecting. Let's see here. So is this thing actually applying an AoE heal? If we edit this guy. Apply gameplay effect to self. And that's applying the GE AoE heal. But that's not the gameplay ability. Oh, I wonder if the character has to have a gameplay ability heal on it. I don't remember that being a thing. Hold on a second. Use Anim Blueprint. There's no skeletal mesh. Alright, let's debug this. This is going to take a second. So we'll just pop in here. We'll put a breakpoint. Let's play. Let's get shot. Okay. Resume. Alright, now we're going to walk over this. Okay, cool. So we walked over this. Now, what we got is it equal to enemy? That's false because it's me. And then if it's true, we're going to apply. Okay, so it never does this. And it also doesn't end the ability, so that's not going to work. I don't know why we limited this to enemies. I'm going to not do that. Let's try this. Let's not limit this to enemies. And this is on component begin overlap. Okay. So let's try this. Alright, shoot me. Alright, this is something we're definitely going to update in our ranged characters. He's still moving to his final destination before he actually starts shooting me, which is fairly annoying. Okay, So we're gonna branch in there. We're gonna add it in. We're gonna apply the gameplay effect to self. We're gonna send that effect to the actor. Looks like I have a breakpoint in code, which I'm getting rid of. I'm going to resume that. I have a lot of breakpoints in code. Resume. Okay, wait, we triggered it. But wait, did we do healing? I didn't see. Okay, hold on. Let's see if our health gets better. I think it did. It's very, very stingy heal, isn't it? Okay, so let's bring our health down to 18 and we'll get rid of our... Okay, it definitely heals me, but it's super stingy. And it's on a 5-second reset. Okay, cool. But even though it's stingy, it's still working. Oh, dude, he just got healed. Oh, I just killed him. Okay, so let's change this. Let's change this to melee, because a melee character is a little bit easier for me to work with. Let me double check and see how we're doing. Barry, no, I do. So Barry is asking, do I know anything about paletted PNGs? No, I do not. I am actually definitely not a materials expert by any means. And I'm thinking you actually mean, are you talking about packaging or stacking them up? Is that what you're talking about for deployment? I guess what's the context on it? Right, it's an image format. You want to change the color in a PNG by tweaking the palette. Right, but you want to tweak the palette in Unreal? Or you want to tweak the whole palette like in JavaScript? Is that JS for JavaScript? Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I've never tried that. I don't know client-side JavaScript. I'm trying to think. It's a little bit outside the scope of what we're doing here from a game dev standpoint, just because we're mostly working with Unreal. I'm trying to think, because I've done a lot of web dev. I'm trying to think if I've ever even tried to change the color of a PNG or its palette in the client side. I don't think I have. So I don't really have any help for you there. But thanks for stopping in, Barry. And good morning, depending on what time zone you're in. Okay, so we're back to trying to get our characters to heal. So they are healing, which is great. If we accidentally... oh, you're on mountain time. Cool. Okay, so let's see. We switched to a melee character because it's easier for me to kite the character to where I want them to be, unless they spawn up there, and then I just have to kill them. Let's see here. So this guy is going to come at me, and when he comes at me, he heals, which is great. So now he's gonna keep coming at me because he went berserker. Okay, so yep, he's berserker, so he's just gonna keep following me, which, you know, maybe is a good thing. So he triggered that and healed. All right, that's working exactly the way I expected it. So now we can get into the AI portion of this. And to do that, here's what I'm thinking. We're going to need a whole separate branch of our AI tree, which is going to be to do things like, there's going to need to be a strategy branch. There's going to need to be, a finding things on the ground branch and stuff like that. So this specific area that I think we can work on a little bit right now that we have an AoE heal, is let's figure out. All right, so we have fight, okay, and we have flight. And this is like basically as long as I'm healthy enough that I feel like I should be attacking you. If I could give you a link where someone presumably does it and ask questions about that. Yeah, so Barry Carter, I'm happy to take a look at that later, like, but it's outside the scope of kind of the game dev stuff. But if you want, yeah, you can totally send me a link. I can look at it and see if I can understand it, and then maybe we can do a separate thing to try to check that out. But yeah, this is web dev is a little bit beyond what we're doing here. All right, so for those of you that can't see the chat, Barry was just asking if he could send me a separate link and maybe we could have a chat about the PNG color tweaking stuff. So, all right, we're back to this. We got fight or flight, and then we have our last location. Really what we want to do is, I think, when we do flight, one quick thing we could do is we could just say, hey, flight is when we're flight, rather than going to find cover, what we could do is either maybe part of find cover, we also try to find a heal or something like that. So let's just take a look at find cover. I got PNGs on the brain. Find cover and see if there's a good place for us to figure out what's this gonna be. So we're gonna get a random reachable point in a radius, and these are possible destinations. Then we're testing these, and then based on the dot products, remember we did this a few weeks ago, we're going to set our possible destination, and then eventually we're going to set our destination. I think we could probably easily do this in here. In our possible destinations, we're basically we're going through 3 possible destinations, and I think what we can do is, here, let's do this. Let's take all of this and move it down so we have space. Oops. What I want to do is, let's just see if there's sphere trace, or find in radius, I believe is what we're looking for. Get random location point in radius, that's not it. We do this in our grenade, I believe. Let's take a look at our grenade. Grenade detonate, throw. This is our throw. That's not the one. Here's our throw base. We're spawning actors. We're coming in here, breaking our gameplay. That's not it. Detonate the grenade. This is from our explosion base. We're applying an effect container. Interesting. Get all actors matching query. Sphere overlap actors. I think that's the one I was looking for. Okay, cool. So this will work. So here's what we can do. The actor class that we want to look for is the heal. And let's make sure we get the right one, because remember we had 2. It's the heal AoE BP. So let's just see heal AoE BP. That's guy. So in this case, what we're going to be doing is, the idea here is based on where we are, from our current location, I think is a good way to do it. Before we flee, what we can do is, all right, so what this is going to do is every time we go to find a new destination as part of our runaway, we're going to also check to see if there's a heal nearby, is effectively what this is going to do. So wherever we happen to be at the time, we're going to do a sphere overlap, and we should look within a radius of, sure, let's just say 1,000. All right, and if we get a hit, I believe. Yep. So if we get that, then what we're going to do is we're going to get the first one. We don't really care which one we get. Let's just get the first one right now. And let's get the actor location. Get the location. And then that's where we're going to go to. So what we're going to do is we are going to set our destination. And we're actually going to move this actually to be where the heal is. All right, so that's going to set our destination of where the heal. Now, so we do our sphere, we find the heals. If we find one, we're going to just take the first one and we're going to set that as our destination. That should totally work. Now here's the problem. I don't think we want to do this here. And the reason is because the very next thing we're doing after this completed is, this is where we're doing all of our checks to find out if the destination is away or towards our hero. Because remember, we did all that work to make sure we don't flee towards our hero character. And we did that because it just looked dumb to have our enemies go running past the hero. And so let's see here. Possible destinations. So when this is completed, we have a destination set. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add in this last check as part of this now. And this is if it's not valid, which is, we should never really be doing this test. Like this should never be not valid, but just in case. All right, so we're gonna get our actor location. And then we're just going to slide this down one more step. We'll do this at the end. So if we don't have one, we need to make sure we come in here. And if we do have one, we need to make sure we come in here. And then this completed, we're going to plug into our sphere overlap. All right, so now theoretically, what should happen is when our enemies go into flight mode, they should now also check to see if there's a heal nearby. And if there is, they should run to that heal. Now, just because of the logic we built into the enemies, if they heal enough that they're healthy, they should change back to fight mode. So let's give this a shot. But we do have compiler errors. So let's see where our error is. And it's because, oh, object types. That's interesting. Make array. Ooh. I'm gonna say, well, it's not a pawn. I'm gonna say this is world dynamic. Let's just save all of our stuff right now, just in case we crash. Okay. So when he's gonna come at me, now he's running away. I sort of feel like that heal is within 1,000. So he's not doing this. So let's check our find cover task. I want to put a breakpoint in here. Okay, so we just hit that breakpoint. And yeah, it's not finding any actors. Let's see here. Maybe it's world static? Doesn't seem right. Oh, he's in berserker mode. That's not gonna work. Ah, killed him. But interestingly enough, that did work though. So our test works, but we can get rid of our breakpoint real quick. Let's get rid of our breakpoint. We did. Okay, cool. So there's our enemy. Shoot him, he runs. He went to the heal. Now he's back in fight mode and he went berserker. Now, wait a minute. He's not supposed to run away if he's in berserker mode. Something's going on there. But he did go to the heal. That's good. We just gotta figure out either what's happening there is he's incorrectly flashing that he's in berserker. He's not actually in berserker. Or what is that berserk? It's almost like when he hits the heal, he goes into berserker. The other thing I wanted to check was he does damage to me. If we both go, come on, buddy, follow me. Follow me. Do we both get healed? Follow me. Yes, I think we both got healed. Yes, we're both getting healed. Okay, cool. Alright, I'm gonna kill this guy again and see. So this is actually really cool because now instead of just running around for no reason, he actually runs to find health. And when he finds the health, okay, for some reason, when he's finding that health, he's getting put into berserker mode. But what I don't know is he actually in berserker mode? So let's see here. The enemy, this is our enemy. And what I want to know is line of sight is berserk. Okay, so we're here. Here's our composite. Can I put a breakpoint here? Oh, I can't put a breakpoint here. How do I figure out, how do I debug this? Can I just do this? Nope. Doesn't look like, can I look at the blackboard to see what the settings are? Here we go. Wait a minute, berserker percent, 52% berserker. That's interesting. What is our test for berserker? ETC is berserk. Is berserk is, let's do a check here. Supposed to be greater than 80. So we're not berserk right now. So our material is just incorrectly showing that we're berserk. So let's go back and take a look at that, because that is going to be confusing. Let's see here. So here's our enemy. I don't understand why. Here's our mesh. This is our material instance, which inherits from the main body material, which, here's our Berserker color. That's getting set to time. Oh, interesting. So it's not even the material that's doing it, it's wherever we're setting the Berserker color. So find all references. Berserker color. Okay. Let's go back to our other blueprints. We're not going to be able to find it in here. Okay, so show Berserker. Is this the only place that this is happening? It looks like it. So let's find out where show Berserker is being called. It is being called in our enemy, and it should be being done on health changed. Oh, interesting. Okay, so what's happening is it's getting a random okay. All right, so what's happening is when the health change, okay. The problem is when we're healing, we're basically what's happening, because Berserker mode is tied to health change, what's happening is when our health changes, we get a % chance of going Berserker again, even though it's a heal. And so what ends up happening is we generate a random float. If it's greater than 80, then we show Berserker. Now the interesting thing about that though is clearly that was 57. So I don't know why that would be Berserker. All right, but let's see if we can troubleshoot that again. Resume. We hit this thing, so we can get rid of this for now. All right, so he just went Berserker by walking over that health pack. Now, let me see if we can do this a couple things. All right, now. He did not go Berserker that time. Oh, I got killed. Dude killed me. Okay. Did not go that time. All right. That seems very suspect. The amount of times this dude is changing to Berserker mode. But he's not really in Berserker mode. It's just showing him as in Berserker mode. Because you can tell he's running away. Something's wrong. Something's really wrong here. Show Berserker if the value is greater than 80. I want to know. Let's see when we hit that. All right, so let's play this. this guy is fast. Okay. $81.5. Man, this is a 20%. Maybe 20% is too high. You know what? I know how to test this. Let's change this. Let's change our chance to be greater than, because remember, we should never go berserker if I set this to 101. It shouldn't be possible. Okay, so no matter what, this dude should never go berserker. I should never see him turn pink. Yep, that seems to be working. Okay, cool. Maybe 80, maybe a 20% chance is just higher than I realized. So let's knock this down to like 90. Now, I do want to fix this though, so that when the health is changing, the problem is that if we have two options here. All right, one is either when a character gets shot or heals, they have a chance of going berserker, which it seems weird to me that, you know, if you're healing, you have a chance to go berserker. But the interesting thing is, if you are berserker and you heal, you have a higher chance of not being berserker anymore. So that may be pretty organic, which is cool. But if that's the case, what we do need though is we need a way to turn off the berserker visual so it's not confusing. So if we go back in here and we change show berserker, or let's add a new event called let's clear berserker or hide berserker. Let's create an event. We're going to create a new event. It's going to be a custom event, and we're going to call it event clear berserker. Or no, I'm going to use hide, because the reason being is hide is more like the colors and clear might be the actual state. So let's just do this. So we're going to grab all of this, same deal again, only difference is we're going to set it to black. Back to black. And that should clear it. And then we can get our ragdoll out of the way, make this nice and clean, leaving all of our blueprints better than when we found them. And eventually this will be all nice and clean. Okay, cool. So we have our hide berserker, and I'm also going to rename this to event show berserker. Just to be consistent, pick one, save that guy. Let's go back, and what we want is we want event hide berserker. We're going to go back to our, let's go back to our 80% chance again. See if this just feels better now. Or 20% chance, right? Because it's an invert. All right, so he's gonna run away. He's gonna go pick up the health, but he didn't get all the way there. Interesting. I think we need to make that collision a little bit bigger. Okay, he hit it. Okay, so now he's coming at me. Can't hit him. Can't hit him from where I'm standing. I'm using a Wacom tablet, which is making this really hard. Okay, so he just went berserker. So he's staying in fight mode. Now the only thing I can do is try to kite him over the health pack. There we go. So now he's cleared, and you can see the state cleared. That's good. But he went berserker again. Come on, buddy. Healed. Berserker didn't clear. Or Wait a second. Or he is still in Berserker. So let's just double check and make sure that that is a true thing. So in our behavior tree, over here where we're deciding to come into this composite, let's put a breakpoint and let's check our Berserker. 83. So he is Berserker. He's fully healthy, but also Berserker at the same time. So it is working as intended. If that's the ultimate behavior we want, I can't really say. We'll see how that feels. But so if I shoot him, he fell out of Berserker. Now he's gonna run away, go hit that heal, and come back. All right, dude, this is cool. This is working. Okay, so a couple things. Let's make this AoE a little bit broader, bigger, so it's easier to accidentally hit for our enemies. Double check to see how we're doing. If there's any questions right now? Nope, it is all clear. And we want our components. Okay. So this is a box collision. And if we look at our viewport, you can see how big it is. Let's make it a little bigger. It's interesting to me that when they get the location of this actor, they're not getting the center point. I must be getting something within the radius of it. That's something worth looking at. If we go in here in our flight task where we're finding cover, when we're looking for the radius, it gets the location. No, it's not in a location. It just looks like the center point of that thing is not right in the middle of it. Okay. Oh, no, you know what it is? I know what it is. In here, when we do our move 2 has an acceptable radius of 100. Oh, that's interesting. So the problem is, with an acceptable radius of 100, we may not actually stand on top of the heel. So this would be a good reason to potentially change the way this works so that find cover, or even outside of this flight, we may have to rethink the move to so that the acceptable radius is different when we're moving to a heel or an actual item than versus just a location for finding stuff. So perhaps what we do is, as we break flight into two separate things, where the first part of it is check for heals, we do that. And if that's the case, then we move to. Otherwise, we would do the standard flight. And in that one, we make sure that the acceptable radius is, within a radius of actually picking the item up. Because we're going to need that exact same stuff for when we go to pick up weapons and stuff. Oh, he happened to go berserker there. We'll kite him over the thing. He'll heal completely. He's no longer berserker. He runs away. But see, look, he doesn't get... Either it hasn't been 5 seconds or he's not actually triggering it because he's within a radius of 100. So if we change this as an example, just as a test, what we can do is move to, let's change our acceptable radius to 10. See how many times we run into that same problem. Yeah, so you can see he's clearly standing on the thing now. Now why is he... Oh, interesting. But if he's there, he won't move because he's already on the heel. That's something we're gonna have to figure out too. Okay. And the problem with that is because he's standing there, he's not moving, the overlap's not re-triggering. So once I do that, Now he's going to come at me. I'm going to shoot him. He's going to go back and hit the heal. He's going to come at me. I'm going to shoot him. He goes berserker. Dude, this berserker, 20%, man. 20% happens a lot. Like, he's already in berserker. Oh, I did not mean to kill him. Runs away. Hits the heal. Goes berserker. Runs away. Okay, it's been, the problem is it's been, there's a 5-second cooldown on the heal. So now he's back to normal. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Runs away. Heals. Interesting, he went berserker as part of that heal. I'm not sure I'm totally sold on the berserker state right now, but overall for the goal of today, like letting him kind of be aware of this area where he can go to heal on the ground is cool. I do want to change, I think I do want to do the work to have him separately move to heal versus the other. And I think what we could do is we could just put this in a branch within this, which is if there is a heal within acceptable radius, then we just branch to go to a different move too. But it would depend on, I don't know, I think it's worthwhile to potentially do it the other way simply because we're going to be using that same logic to find weapons. And I think what we'll do is in here, let's take our flight and move it way over. Take our flight over here. Now, I think what we can do is expand this out. So here's our flight. When we do our flight, it's less about flight and it's more about finding heals. So, because here's the other problem. It's not just about finding heals. Like, finding heals works, but what about also the day where he has a heal, like he has a med kit, and the enemy could use the med kit to heal? Then we have to figure out, what do we do in that case? Do we flight, find a safe spot, and then once we're away we heal? So as you can see, there's kind of some complexity here, and I think what we're going to do is find cover. I think we could change this to find heal. And if we do find heal, it seems clunky. It will work, but it seems clunky. We could do a find heal, which sets a boolean of, heal available, which would change our move to radius. Or what we could do is just all of, what we could do is we could expand this down. We could drop in I think we want a selector. Let's see here, selector. Selector is a composite node. It executes their children from left to right and will stop executing its children when one of the children succeeds. Okay, so if a selector's child succeeds, a second selector succeeds, a selector's children fails, a selector fails. Okay, so we're basically gonna do 2 move 2s. And we can add a decorator there, yep. And let's do another move to, same thing. And what we're doing here is, depending on, no matter what we're going to do move to, which is what we want. This one, the first one, we're going to set our acceptable radius of 5, just so it basically will stand right on top of the object. And then the second one, it will just leave at our normal 100. And then what we can do is, let's create a Boolean in our Blackboard for precise move. The one thing that I'm thinking though is, how do we clear this afterwards? We need a way to clear this afterwards. So let me double check. Okay. For now, let's just add a new key. We're gonna call it B precise move. And I don't know why I can't add a new key. It's a Boolean, B precise move. Okay, it's going to be there. And then what we'll do is we'll add a decorator. And the decorator is going to be check. I thought there was a Blackboard. And as part of this base condition, we're going to check to see precise move is set. And if it is, we will do this one. Otherwise, we're going to do this one. And then what we can do in here is, when we do our check to find our health pack, if this happens to be true, we are going to set our destination still. But the other thing we're going to do is we're going to get our Blackboard. And then we're going to get, we're going to set a value as bool. And there's two ways to do this. We can have duplicates of this, or we can make another variable here called buse precise move. And we can basically set this to this. And then we can plug this into here. And we can plug that into there. All right, and then what we want to do is we want to set this to true. For this case only. And what we can do, and when we come in here, is we just set it to false to start with, just to make sure that it's cleared before we start. So we're going to assume we're using, for the case of finding cover, we're going to assume we're not using a precise move. And if we happen to be doing the branch where we actually do have health, then we will set our precise move to true. And we actually do need our key name, which in this case is B precise move. Let's make this okay. So what should be happening, and we're looks like we're gonna finish this up just in the nick of time. What should be happening now is, if we do flight, he's definitely using precise moves. But what I need to do is I need to reduce our radius. Yeah, this is gonna be hard to test, because our radius is so broad for that one. So let's knock this down to 100. And what I want to know is, he's running away. If I just look at his behavior tree, what I'm curious about is, in here, This is what I want to see. Which move to is he using? All right, so he's doing his wait, and you can see he's using the move to over here. All right, so that's the one that is within a radius of 100. If we go back to our single room and we try to kite this dude to be a little bit closer to 100. He should run away from me. Yep, there we go. Cool. So that works. All right, y'all. For those of you that are watching after the fact, as always, if you have questions or there's something that you'd like to see us cover in the next round, go ahead and throw those questions in the comments below. Otherwise, you feel free to just hop into the next Q&A, which is going to be Sunday night at 10:15 Pacific Standard Time, and we can answer any questions that you might have then. Everybody who hopped in during the day, you know, thanks for hopping in and joining us. And Barry Carter, as far as your question on web dev stuff and things like that, please feel free to send me an email with a link or something like that, and I can try to check it out. Cool. All right, everybody. Take it easy. We'll see you next time. Have a great weekend.